I talk to a spirit. She comes in my dreams.
What is the path to awakening supposed to look like, to feel like? How do you know if you are on it? We ask these very sacred and sometimes vulnerable questions to many different women from all walks of life. A conversation that needs to be shared and heard. I'm Jo Hendy.
I'm Amanda Parker.
And welcome to the Girl Awakening podcast. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
Totally threw you in the deep end.
Which is how I like it.
Yes. Welcome, listeners, to our Girl Awakening podcast. It's our Wednesday gig, and we have another beautiful lady in the space with us.
Yes, and it's exciting because, I don't know, I think the times are very much. I want to say the word bewitching, but I don't want to mean it in a spooky way. Just in a way that it's enticing us to actually step out of any comfort zone completely.
Absolutely. And we never know what we're getting from like day to day at the moment. It's like literally shifting and changing that quickly.
Yes,
that quickly.
Which is why we're kind of excited about this episode.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We have another beautiful lady with us today. Her name is Jasmine Grace. She is an educator, empowering women to heal and transform their health, relationships and businesses, to live life with passion and purpose. She is a creator and is creating sacred spaces for retreats, businesses and resorts. She believes true wellness is not just personal, it's collective. Wow,
Yes.
That's really beautiful. Sustainable and deeply connected to nature. Her expertise lies in bridging the gap between holistic health, business strategy and conscious development, working with corporate leaders, hospitality brands, ecotourism projects and retreat spaces to create environments that support healing, relaxation and transformation. This is so on...
My kind of woman.
Yeah.
You guys are my kind of women.
Yeah.
So happy to be here.
Isn't it beautiful to be able to integrate all of those things together now? Like where we are now awake and aware too that we need all of these things to make something, supportive for humans.
Yeah. Our reconnection with nature is so important because of the tech age, and but then also bringing in like the biohacking of life as well. So I was recently at a retreat where I had this thought, and it was like biohacking is actually ancient. It's not new science. It's tapping into the ancient wisdom, and with my Ayurvedic background and yoga, meditation, and the spirituality of the Vedas, and it's deeply connected to this idea of biohacking, which is what everybody's using as a buzzword now, but it's actually ancient practices that we're remembering, we're waking up to.
You're fully giving me a head spin with that, because not many people want to acknowledge that. They want to shape it like they're on the edge of the cutting technology and this and that, but it is ancient wisdom. It's really just going deeper again and translating it to another level, isn't it?
It's coming into the realization that everything is energy, vibration and frequency, and that is the new healing modality, but it's not new.
It's been around forever.
That's what we are energy, we are vibration, we are frequency.
And you know what I love too, it's a different view, but it's like we don't have to give up our daytime job now to incorporate what we're learning in the spiritual realm or the energy realm, all of those realms. We can now bring them together and join them like you are, without throwing, the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. That people are learning that we can integrate the two together.
And I feel we need both, and both are grounded. It's kind of like naturopathy and allopathic medicine. Like they're both needed together. And so it's remembering the wholeness, the oneness, which is actually the meaning of yoga. Yoga means to yoke, to join together in union. And so if we start to remember the wholeness of the wisdom that we hold, then we can really be powerful and thoughtful and both analytic and spiritually guided at the same time.
The remembering, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I love it. Just hearing you share about that, before we dive in, you instantly just feel the dissolving of the struggle. Because it's like we try to be one or the other and flit between the two, or just hearing you share that, you're just letting go of the struggle, and it feels so good.
It does. I spent many years with that struggle myself, being both the corporate world and then holding this ancient wisdom that I was shared with at a very young age, and so I'd be in one space and feel separate, very quite like a dual holding of things, and I'd have to flip between the two spaces in my mindset and my brain, and then somewhere along the line I must have taken a breath and been like, hold on, like, why am I fighting this? Like, let's integrate them both and show up in a conscious way. And I think that's really the key piece, is just being conscious that it is all it. Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
It just totally takes us into that space of asking you our first question, Jasmine, of how did your awakening begin?
So I was very blessed to have hippie parents. Yay. And I was actually given the gift of transcendental meditation when I was 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I can remember sitting, I was actually in a small town in New Zealand because my mother's from there, and in a place called Onimana, rolling hills into the ocean, gorgeous. And I was sitting with the transcendental meditation teacher, and she was giving me my mantra, and we're doing the initiation and she was burning incense, and I can remember going deep, 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 deep in, and it was being guided, doing my mantra, and all of a sudden it was just like this black space, and all I saw myself was this like little like yogi in the middle of that black space. And I can remember feeling there's no mantra, no sound, nothing but just pure being.
Wow.
And I touched that at that age, and I still remember it. And I've been in traumatic times since, and most of the times I could find that it became my inner resource through all the stress and trauma that we all have in life. And so finding that inner sense of being through that meditation process, which I no longer use anymore, I don't feel like the need to, but it was definitely an amazing starting point for a meditative practice, and then also touching into the spirit within.
That's so beautiful. Like, just when you talked about that, then it kind of brought up for me the song lines, the Indigenous song lines, where they sing the song to the child when they're born, and then when they have trauma or any kind of outness throughout life, they sing the song to bring the child back. And I was thinking that just then when you were saying about your meditation. How, to go back to that space of stillness or blackness or whatever it was for you.
Light.
Light.
Yeah.
Connecting back into it.
Yeah,
because I think we all have kind of our own song line somewhere. It's just a matter of tuning back into it. Remembering it again. So and since that, I like chased all kinds of things throughout my life to and nature became a big aspect for me, and so I found meditation first, and then I found yoga. But yoga usually, like in the Patanjalis, which is one of the texts of yoga, they say the physical asana practice is there so that you can sit in long periods of time in meditation to find samadhi, which is essentially what I found at 11 years old, right? So I kind of did it spontaneously, and awakening is that. It is spontaneous. One of my great teachers is Adashanti. I don't know if you know who he is. There's a lot of silent meditations. He basically says sitting in meditation, not just being, you come home and everybody's having micro awakenings, and so it's been an interesting journey. And then from yoga I found Ayurveda, and Ayurveda means the science of life, right? So it's really the guidebook to living well, so that you can live a spiritual practice or a spiritual life. So in Ayurveda we say dis-ease is forgetting your own true nature as spirit. Right? And spirit could be universe, whatever you want it to be, could be God, no label on that. But when we are
unwell, when we have disease in the body, it's us getting caught up in the dramas of life as opposed to remembering our true nature as spirit.
Oh my goodness. And I, thinking of that too, it's like, and I'm hearing this a lot, the meditation thing kind of comes and goes for me anyway, where it's like, nothing for a long time and then everything all at once, and I'm getting more and more about, connecting back to source is through meditation. More and more people are saying that, the stillness. But what's happening is life is speeding up and getting so busy that it's taking us away from that. And so for me, it's like, I don't have time right now. I don't have time, where that should be the most important thing right now, for me, and I suppose for many. But it's like that duality again. It's like, you've got life over here going crazy and you've got this meditation, safe space, connection, remembering over here.
Yeah.
And it's about really just making the time for that.
Yeah. I can speak to that, in the sense of, recently I've had like major anxiety, and I think to myself, okay, I'm obviously like, I have all this wisdom within and training and skill set and all of this information, and sometimes the anxiety of life, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn takes over, and even if we want to do some of those things, we're not actually able to access it, and that's when we need a guide and support and community and what we call in yoga sangha, a Sanskrit word for people of like-mindedness doing things in well-being, it's humbling to and it's also like, you think as a practitioner, you think as a healer, or you think as someone who has a wisdom that like you shouldn't be sick, you shouldn't have anxiety, you shouldn't have dysregulation of the nervous system, but it happens to all of us.
Absolutely.
And life happens to all of us, and sometimes it's out of our control, and sometimes it's part of our dharmic path, our karmic path, to experience it, so you can come back stronger and help other people from a place of empathy, understanding, and a deepness of being able to sit with someone in their experience without judgment, but just holding that space and knowing that it's theirs to pass through.
So
That's
true.
so beautiful.
It's the taking the resistance out of the trauma, isn't it? I mean, obviously working being aware to remove yourself from unsafe spaces, but to recognize that, okay, there's a process of how I got here. There's going to be a process of coming back out again. Yeah. And coming back, as you shared, stronger, I'll say fitter, but I mean, in the holistic sense. Yeah. And with a new sight and a new empathy for self and others as well. Like it's a process that's very richly rewarding when we allow it to be.
Yeah. It's not always fun in
no.
No. Like, really. For a long time. Excuse me, universe, but I'm done with this now. Thank you for sharing. I no longer need you. Yes. Let's go somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh God, bring it now.
Don't need any more of these lessons. Thank you.
I'm finding it too, like, I love what you said, you can know all the things, you can have studied it and taught it, and yet there can be moments where I'm like, I just don't want to get out of it right now. I just want to sit in it for a little bit.
And there's healing in that too. Yeah. Right? That's the shadow. Yeah. That's the shadow. And that's where, we are really able to feel. Yeah. And it's through the feeling that we heal, not through the pushing away. Yeah.
And there's a lot of addiction in that space too, potentially, isn't there? Like, to that feeling and on feeling even not good things, or repetitive looping of behaviours to keep feeling but still not feeling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The avoidance of feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the pain's too much or it seems too hard or that's a tricky one.
Yeah,
that's another subject altogether.
I know, we really could. We really could.
Escapism.
I know.
So where did this 11-year-old girl go? In blissful spaces in beautiful New Zealand, beachside. where did our 11-year-old girl go? Because, I mean, that's just a beautiful space to receive that gift of meditation and connection to self before you even kind of move into puberty and all those.
Or even understand what it was.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so much change in who you are as a person to have that a little bit on the way with you, perhaps. Was that the case, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the books that was always in my house was the book by Louise L. Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, right? And one of the other books was Creative Visualization by Shakti Gwan. 70s, and so I can remember reading both of those and doing a lot of healing around an only child. Like that's a whole nother, that's a book in itself. But anyway, so but I moved back to Australia because my dad was from Australia, and I was blessed enough to creatively visualize myself winning a scholarship with Walt Disney Corporation to represent Australia on a cultural world peace exchange.
Does it mean you went to Disneyland?
Serious?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Fabulous.
Yeah. And so I truly I would go to the beach, Kings Beach, Caloundra, and lay on the beach, and I'd already applied, and I would visualize myself receiving this award, how I would feel. I used all the techniques in both of those books, and I got goosebumps. And I received that award. Now, my mum was a single mother. My father was not on the scene. We lived in this small little, like, government-funded apartment. We had nothing. And it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. At 16, I was walking through the Chicago airport by myself, and the Chicago airport has these like color panels all along the, like, to connect the different terminals. And I can remember with my little backpack and my one suitcase by myself walking through this light-filled tunnel.
Oh, wow.
And there were all the different colors changing. I'm very intuitive to light. So light is a very important part of my being. And
What a perfect welcome.
I was going to say.
and I was just like, okay, life begins. You know, like, and it really was that in itself was a massive thing. But for me, it was more about the fact that I could visualize and create and understand the power of manifestation, because there are a lot of other people with, you know, good grades, with like so much more that could have won that award. But I truly think, like, with the power of that supportive universe, that opening that up. And so
it was yours. You were totally
exactly.
And I can't imagine too many other 16-year-old girls understanding even that at that age, you know, the power of manifestation, or the power of creating what you want.
And that I attribute to my mother, and her, like, she had Deepak Chopra around, like, you know, she would go and see this, you know, in Sunshine Coast there's a monastery up there, and a Buddhist monastery, and we would see the Buddhist monks, and so I was very grateful for that aspect of my childhood.
That's a funny one, because it's like, I can see the two sides of that too. Like, being aware when you're so young can actually, you know, it can be hard on you, really. Without going through life not knowing anything, you know, and then waking up maybe in your 30s or something, which is what most people do, late 20s, early 30s kind of thing. So knowing so much and being so open at such a young age can be, although we sit here and go, yay, that's fantastic, but I can imagine that it would have been tricky too. Knowing so much.
I'm not sure I actually knew what I knew until I did. I was just being. I was just like in the flow. I was, you know, like, had that like spark, right? So it's more like a spark. And I was lucky enough to have some amazing friends who were in alignment with that spark. And so
I love that you applied it to the Walt Disney world as well, because I mean, what a perfect like, I want to go and, you know, it's like it wasn't sort of like a practical thing, but it was a fairy fantasy, you know. I'm walking into Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Like this is where I want to go and live. It's like almost like it's a creative fantasy world, but it's a very real world.
It is, yeah. I mean, and Walt Disney himself said, if you can dream it, you can build it.
Yes.
Right. And I apply that even today. I was lucky enough to see how Disney works and see the inner workings of it. And that is part of what I apply to the magic I bring to any project that I work on.
Wow.
It's not just, there's this like underlying energy, vibration and frequency that like, that will open and touch whatever I work with. And so that's, I say that in, with a humble statement, but it's like that's part of it. And with Disney and with that whole experience, like we have to believe in our dreams. And sometimes, especially like I'm 48 this year, and life can beat you down. Sometimes it gets harder as we get older.
Absolutely.
To continue to remember that kind of magic, and so we have to constantly remind ourselves. I always say, come home, come home to the knowing.
That's so beautiful. Just the words that you just said, then come home, because this morning we've been just going through some old podcasts that we've done with women right back from 2 years ago, and there's just one in particular that jumped out at me this morning. Now I know why. And I watched it and I cried because she was talking about, she does the QHHT technique, which is the quantum healing hypnosis technique, and the way that she knew that she was doing it right or in tune is because she felt this feeling of home, coming home, the spark. She felt the spark inside of her reignite. And I'm watching it, crying my eyes out, because I totally felt what she was saying. And I totally get what you're saying. It's as we get older, we have more responsibilities. We have children and all of that, and we, there's so much drawing us back down into the system and back down into the nitty gritty of life, that it becomes harder to pull ourselves up and out of it. And we have to remember that there is
true self.
We have to remember the home, our home point, that spark, that light that we've always known is there, and being able to connect back in. I just this morning was in not myself at all, and my husband rings on the way here, and I just say hello, and he goes, oh. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, oh honey, he doesn't say much, but it's like, oh, you feel heavy. And I said, I'm heavy today. So you'll get through. And I'm like, yep, I'm in the right place.
It's
a constant kind of battle, just to pull yourself up and out of it. Because the tools. You've got the tools. You know what it feels like.
Sometimes it's all just a bit elusive. It's a bit over there, and we're over here. And
So when you say home, I totally resonate with that. Such a beautiful thought to have. Especially when you know that place.
Absolutely.
So you were in Disney World for, how long was
that? Was
no turning back point?
That was a year kind of like adventure, and then I decided to stay there and go to college. Or university, and in that space I opened my first business, which was called Being, the Art of Living. Which,
oh my gosh,
how old were you here?
Just 21.
No
way.
It
was just 21.
So cool.
And so it was furniture, home accessories, design services, and we would go into homes and businesses, and basically the tagline was, if your home feels good, so will you. Or so do you. And so it was very much about creating spaces that were just beautiful, tidy, orderly, inspired by what people were lit up by. And so and the actual the actual, every item was, handpicked from all over the world. So I had an amazing investor. And
good energy around it too.
Good energy, So that was a really beautiful business and experience, and I did that for about 8 or 9 years. Before that, I was a massage therapist, aromatherapy, Reiki, things like that. So while I was in uni, I worked my way through uni being a licensed massage therapist for a chiropractor and working in a holistic space. So I always had that aspect. Actually, one of the business plans we had to do for massage therapy school was to create a business plan. And I created this massive business plan for this wellness center that was like this 4-part thing. And that has never left me, because that's what I've been doing my whole entire life.
It's creative.
And I was 18 when I did that.
18. Wow.
So I had to wait for my
really
residency.
Big dreams, like as in big, but in the form of holistic, helping others bring them home.
Just find their wholeness. And it's in Ayurveda we say the healer's role is not to heal. It's to help people to remember that their body has a natural ability to heal itself. And so we're creating the practices and tools to create the environment for the body to heal itself, because the body has its own wisdom. Right? So
that we're learning more about.
Absolutely.
Speak to us and tell us what we need to know.
And this is good. This is interesting, because what I've been coming into my awareness recently is this like 30-year loop kind of thing that we're in at the moment, with things coming back around to kind of like when you're talking around 18, and it's literally like a 30-year loop of like what you brought through in that space. It's like, oh my God, it's like, channel and then, and it was like, let's, but it's waiting for whatever, this divine timing and all these experiences in between. It's an incredible journey sometimes that we never can envision the path we walk to get to any destination at any time through the journey, is it?
No, and sometimes we just have to realize, like, some things are stepping stones. Some things are there for our, karmic development. Things that we're, it's the peeling of the onion. It's constant. It's a constant peeling of the onion.
And laying some things to rest, even that were left over from last time.
Absolutely. Or generational. So I'm very big on understanding our own generational trauma as well. And doing that healing. I have a beautiful, smart, fiery 17-year-old daughter. And she is a writer and a philosopher, which is interesting because she's started to steal all my books, which I have a massive library, and like she's taking like my Jean Klein and my like beautiful like non-dual books, and she understands it. I'm like, okay,
she's ready. Well, of course. We've both got daughters like that as well. So I'm hearing what you're saying. It's like you just can't. You just can't hold them back or stop them. If they're ready, they're ready.
Absolutely. And then and then when I had tried previously, she didn't want anything to do with it. So you've got to let them come to it in their own time. And
that osmosis kind of thing happened. That they're ready right from the beginning, but they're just waiting for their oin timing to kick in, aren't they?
Wayne Dwyer is one of my favorite authors, and I think he's brought some beautiful work into the world. And he would always talk about parenting as kind of like they've already got everything they need. You just need to create a safe space and love, and we can guide them, but they're on their own path.
Because I think, did he have a son or something that was an addict? He had a child. One of them went through a hard time of some sort, and it's interesting because we don't always get the cards that we want. I was thinking about that before when you were saying that, because, you know, being going through this awakening process and all of that, it doesn't matter how evolved you are, life still is going to play out, you know, whatever way it wants to. And, you know, just being positive and saying affirmations and meditating, it's all wonderful things, but it doesn't let you escape from what is meant to be.
Nope.
You know, and
exactly.
That's the only way that we evolve and learn and grow, is by getting these little speed bumps along the way and
Nudges.
being able to be open to them and not, you know, avoid them or try to avoid them. You know, at some stage you have to face them and feel it. Feel it, like you said.
One of my favorite practices that I use is called it's from the Yoga Nidra Iris meditation from Richard Miller, and it's basically what we say outward. So we locate the feeling in our body, we welcome it like a guest in our guest house. We experience it. Maybe it's color, maybe it's vibration, maybe it's like a tightness in our chest, maybe it feels like freedom. You know, do we experience it? And we say, okay, it feels like this, it tastes like this, it smells like this, like using our senses, and then we describe it. And then we can also have a conversation, and we can bring in the opposite of it. So say, I'm saying this to myself right now. So, we're reflecting. We're like, so I feel this experience, this anxiety. It's in my chest, and you know, it feels like a hand grabbing in between my sternum, and so what would be the opposite to that? A feeling of lightness and expansion. And so you'd sit with that feeling and go between the two opposites.
I like that.
And then maybe try and hold them both at the same time, and then and ask, what do you need? What do you need to feel safe? What is the message that you have for me today? So doing that as a practice for yourself, or using a practitioner, and you're really getting into the somatics of it. It's not about the story. It's not about the person who hurt you. It's not about you know, the mistake you made. It's more about, okay, what is it that the body is asking for? So the body keeps the score. And if we don't take care of those feelings, emotions in our body, then it will and could and possibly manifest into something that is a little bit larger.
The score keeps building up on this side, and you know, there's deficit over here.
So just, you know, remembering that we can have those conversations with our body, and we can, like, you know, we can, that's part of self-healing, and then we can also find people that can help us along that journey, that have the skills and teach us how to do it as well.
That's so true. And the asking, I find, is really powerful. You know,
and hard.
Absolutely. Because you know, if you can't see them, then, you know, but it's just trusting that they're, you know, we do have people, we have guides, we have, you know, other beings out there that are just waiting to support us and help us, but we have to ask first. It's like, you know, trusting that it's
thank you
working.
For that reminder.
We forget to do that a lot. I've been listening. I have you heard of oh my God, The Disappearance of the Universe? It's a book by Gary Renard.
No.
Okay, so it's a beautiful book, and it correlates back to A Course in Miracles.
Okay.
And last night I was just listening to him. It's a new book he's got out, and it's called Jesus and Buddha, and they were like two.
Joe's having a love affair with Jesus currently.
Yes,
the last
I am.
year.
Loving it.
Come into the life.
Yeah, he's come into my life. So anyway, they had past lives together, the two of them. It's really interesting. But just going back to the body thing, they were talking about. He said he's got high blood pressure. This is Gary Renard, who knows a lot, right? Talks to these two beings, and they said to him, "No, don't do the medication. I have another way." And they tell him what he needs to take to get rid of it, and that's what led into this story about disease, you know. And they were talking about cancer, and that cancer is sadness in the body that hasn't been forgiven. You know, and that we should look the only way that we can. And look, for anyone out there, this is just one opinion. There are many, but that, you know, that it's just sadness that's been sitting there for a long time that hasn't been. You either haven't forgiven somebody or forgiven yourself or whatever it is, you know. And it is a process. We find here with Girl Awakening, a lot of women that have been in that have gone through cancer or some kind of disease, and it's because they haven't listened to their body when their body's been screaming at them. Yeah. And it's got to the point where they've been just shoving, they're numb. They're numb, and it's then it's appeared as some kind of disease, and they've had to walk back through to feel it, to heal it.
In Ayurveda, we think of disease like a tree, right? So the roots, you've got your digestive system, you've got like sleep and
nervous system.
The nervous system, and it's all down there. And so we might get a grumbling in our stomach or heartburn or, you know, some kind of skin rash or something like that. And that's actually the body whispering at us saying, hey, something's not right. Right? So instead of like, oh, let me take a pill for that, and instead of us looking at what is actually the root cause, either what we're eating, our nervous system, like what that is, we take a pill or we don't listen to it and we try and heal it not through the root cause, but we cover up the symptom. So in Ayurveda, we tried to get to the root of the symptoms so that there isn't a diversification or a relocation or a manifestation of disease. And so a lot of times, if we can catch things in the digestive system, if we can catch like those little whispers and listen to those whispers of the body, whether it's a rash, whether it's heartburn, whether it's like diarrhea, whatever it could be, it's basically body saying, hey, something's not right. But we're not trained, and neither are doctors. And I love, you know, normal medicine as well. We need it. But it's like how do we get to the root cause of disease, and how do we catch it before it diversifies, relocates, and manifests into something that has a Western medical name.
Because the label is another form of smothering it, isn't it, and taking away from the root, or you know what's underlying all the things.
And that's where our emotions do, like and taking care of those emotions that are arising and facing them and welcoming them in so that they don't feel numbed out, they don't feel ignored. Everything wants to be seen and heard. And our thoughts and emotions are that way too. It's not to push it away, it's to say thanks for sharing. What message do you have for me? How am I to move forward in a way that's for my highest good?
And like the thing that is coming up for me now is the self-love around that. I don't think there's enough self-love because we put time in the space, and then we've got to work and we've got to make money. You know, all these things come up for different people to stop you from actually going, my body needs me right now. I love my body enough to want to look after it, but we're not doing that. We're doing the quick fix, you know, because we don't have time to worry about our bodies. We don't have time because we've got to do this, we've got to do that, we've got to do this.
Run by a clock.
We're run by a clock, you know, and then that self-love completely goes out the window. And, you know, because if we really did love our bodies and love, you know, this beautiful vehicle that we've got for the rest of our lives, we would stop and go, okay, I really need to take a note and look at what's going on in my body right now and
modern day doesn't ask us of that.
No.
You know, our card today was see only love.
Yes.
But we're not perfect. It's almost like you feel shame for taking, or guilty for taking time for self-love. You know, and we, in order to have a full cup to give to others, we need to create that container so that we can give from that.
So true. It's so true.
Speaking of that, Sacred Veda, so you've been you had the business creating all these beautiful spaces and you know, that whole beautiful complementary, you know, bespoke pieces and, you know, authentic environments and aligning them to the people in those spaces. Was that when Sacred Veda came to you, or was that something that sort of was simmering along in the background there?
I had a relationship during that time in my 20s, and it ended. And so I left that business, and I met my daughter's father, who I was married to for 15 years, and we moved to Ohio from Florida, which was someone turned out the lights, because Florida is so bright and sunny and gorgeous, and I'd always lived in an environment like that. To Ohio, which is cold and wet and snows, and it was so dark. And I got a job with a corporate job with a big company called Restoration Hardware. The most amazing products. Loved the company. Worked there for 5 years, roughly around 5 years. Became one of the youngest district managers, covering 7 states, managing millions and millions and millions of dollars. Had 7 stores with 7 store managers, and each store manager had about 30 staff.
Wow.
And so I oversaw that, and it was an amazing experience. We transitioned from a less high-end product to a major high-end product. Now, if you Google them, it's rh.com. Just like they have these massive mansions with big, huge restaurants on top. Really beautiful, right? Really, I love their product. Great company. And so, but I felt I was really disconnected from my roots, right? It was a corporate situation. I was traveling all the time. I just had my baby, and I was out of alignment with who I was. I was working for money. I was building, and you do that in your 30s, right?
Holding a big space,
holding a massive space, and being a mother.
I was going to say the new responsibility.
And so. An amazing experience. I learned so much, and incredibly grateful, and still in the space of design, which I loved, but it was a very stressful job and a lot of travel because of all of the states that I had to cover.
America's such a big country.
It is. It was massive.
It's not like Australia. I mean, Australia's pretty big too, but you're like, that's a long way.
And I can remember I turned to my husband at the time, and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I took a week off, and I did yoga, and there was this yoga teacher training program that showed up. And so I'd work all week, and then on the weekends I did this yoga teacher training, because I needed something that that took me back to into my body and into my truth and into what lit me up inside, right? And so through that process, I left that big job, which was a massive career change and income change as well. But I sat in meditation. I did all the things I knew. I took summer off. I spent it with my daughter, and I just sat there. And I said, bring to me what is my next step. And I should probably be doing this now.
Once
again, right? So we cycle, we keep going, right? So bring to me what should be next. And what came up was ownership in a large yoga studio that was actually failing at the time because they weren't necessarily keeping up with the changes and needs of the market. And so I stepped in, brought all my business skills, and grew it to a $2.5 million yoga studios. I think we had 3 studios, and teacher training program, and brought in the Ayurvedic teacher training as well through the California College of Ayurveda.
So the wellness thing that you had a while back was starting to come together.
So, and this was a major training school. So a lot of what we did was do the yoga teacher trainings, and at the 300 level, 500 level.
So you're responsible for seeding a lot of beautiful yoga teachers through the USA and probably globally. I imagine people would have come.
We had about 50 people per intake, and we did like 2 or 3 a year. So that was an amazing experience. I spent a lot of time studying with some of the best teachers in the world. I'm so grateful. Practicing with some of the best teachers, yoga teachers, asana teachers, philosophy teachers in the world. So I felt like I had 30 years of yoga training within a very short period of time, because I was so immersed in it.
And you were so ready. You were prepared. You're like prepped for it.
So that was an amazing experience. And then It's really a labor of love too, and
any corporate person, like Warren Buffett, through to like John so and so down the street, will say anybody in healing practices is never very good at receiving money, because it is a labor of love. It is for the greater good, and even though you are bringing the money in, it just goes straight back out there again. It's like just a whirlpool of energy that just cycles around, and all of yourself is invested in it in a way that is so rewarding and fulfilling, but also it's just a continual in and out process, isn't it?
We did well. There were 3 of us too, so I think like it's like it was I'm so grateful for all of the teachings I received during that time, and all of the beautiful students who have gone off to do amazing things, and it was then that I transitioned out of that business and had a non-compete, so I couldn't do anything in that state. So we moved states. And that's when I stepped into, I think I was telling you this earlier, I stepped into this space, and my daughter actually found it. And it was this big old like warehousey space with a massive tree out the back. And I'm like, I'm not doing this again. And Spirit basically said, you don't get to choose. We need you. And so I set up that space, and when my ex-husband and I divorced, he got that business. So and then I moved over here.
Amazing.
So it is, I think, part of my dharmic role is creating those spaces that continue to go on to help people find their wholeness, to heal, to come home to that feeling of okayness or being or light or spirit, whatever you want to call it.
And I guess when you say that's probably what I was effectively trying to say was, it is about dharma, it is service to humanity, and there's no way you can really charge for that. It's not about the money. It's a greater purpose and process and vortex of its own.
Absolutely. I do believe in abundance, right? And I believe in I believe in being able. I believe people, and I would always teach my students this, that charge your time is worth, and it's so important. And don't be afraid to have an abundant mindset, because you can make money being a practitioner. You can, and you should, because what you're actually providing is a service that
is priceless.
Because health is wealth.
Absolutely.
So like that. So I think we're becoming more and more aware of that, because if we don't feel good, nothing else can happen. Nothing else can happen, and we can fake it, right? And we can show up, and sometimes we have to show up even when we don't feel 100%. Right. And I'm quite good at that. But in that space too, we don't have to feel 100%, because we can heal while we can hold both at the same time. We cannot be okay, and we can show up as okay. And
there's a transition in
that space. We can have grief and love at the same time. We can have fear and whatever, somebody's opposite to fear, and faith. Actually, I do not know. There's a saying, faith is the antidote to fear. Right? So you can't actually hold faith and fear at the same time. And I'm big, like, okay, is that true? Right? Like anything I've ever been taught, I'm like, okay, well, let me experience that. Like I can't just blindly, trust that. And sometimes I do blindly trust things if it feels right to blindly trust something. But I think faith, if we hold that faith, and I'm not talking about like religious faith, I'm talking about just trust, and then also believe in something that is spirit filled, whether it's like have faith, and that can help with the fear.
This is the disappearance of the universe. Exactly what we're talking about.
Is it? I have to read it.
It's the duality. So it's having both, and when you can clearly have both, the universe disappears. because there's nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You don't need faith. You don't need.
Oh, that's
fear, you know?
and that's so much of like all of the practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can remember when I found out my I found my father was a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And I was and I have a photo of this somewhere. And my father and I had been sending money, and I didn't know.
Okay, yeah.
And I finally found out. And they when you have someone that's close to you that's a drug addict, you have what's called pre-grieving, because you lose them.
Yes.
You lose who you thought they were. They're no longer themselves. Like and so I had this massive pre-grieving moment of my father and finding out that he was a heroin addict, and I would have been in my 30s. And I was sitting in this massive sangha of people, and it was a meditation weekend with Swami Ramananda, who is from the integral tradition, which is one of the yogic traditions of the world. And
I've heard of him.
And he was chanting and singing, and we had a harmonium, and we were doing kirtan, which is mantra. And sound in Ayurveda is the closest to God, because it's the most ethereal of the elements and connected to sound and the ether.
Yeah.
And
the
so,
frequency
and the frequency and vibration of God, universe.
Mm.
And I was sitting there and like fully chanting, tears falling down my eyes. I might cry during this. And I went into this space of grief, complete grief. And and a little bit of anger, because I was mad at him that he couldn't like flip it, right? And then the whole entire universe opened up inside of me, and it was just pure love. And at that time, I just like, and we're probably chanting like, I think you were deep in there. We're chanting. I think it was Shiva, yeah. And it was a Shiva chant, Shiva Om, And anyway, so, and I can just remember thinking, and there was again that stillness. There was that pure, absolute pure love and acceptance. And so when he did pass, I was sad, but I'd actually already found the space.
Yeah, you transmuted it. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
It's like you fizzled it out.
And just like expanded. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so definitely an awakening moment, and one that left me with a great sense of peace.
Yeah. Because the addiction thing is energy, isn't it? It's like an energy field that people get caught in. So it's not actually the person.
Yeah.
It's an energy that they get caught in, and then that's what we get caught in, and then it becomes something. And then if we can get into a space like you're just talking about to transmute that, sometimes that can actually relieve the person that's sitting in it too.
That's the collective energy, isn't it? And why it's so important for us to do our own work on ourselves, so that we can heal in that collective space.
And the quantum field. Yeah, that's a really beautiful, beautiful space to be in.
Yeah.
And another reason supporting taking the time to step out of the grind, because when we're in that grind,
we can't see.
We can't see, and we can't.
We're so caught in our story, like the story just, it's almost like, walls start to go bing, bing, and you're like, you've got stories, of experiences from the past that lock you in there. No, you've been here before.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way out. You have to stay here and see this. It's like, fuck off. I don't want. I'm over that story. I don't want that story anymore.
I think that's why they created mazes, because it's like, well, you want stories? I'm going to give you a maze.
So
start walking.
Yeah.
And I think
trusting the way through, isn't it?
Yeah. There is a way out. And we can dissolve.
I really
those
resonate
walls.
with those chants, because lately I follow this and I don't even know how to say it on YouTube. It's like Marakatha or something, and they're a mantra site. And they do these live chants.
Yes.
And my kids come home and they're adults.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What the hell are you listening to, Mum?" And it's like, Sadhana. I don't know, but it feels so good.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I just have it going through the whole house. Every day, and I love it. And I don't know what they're saying. I just go, this one feels good today.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's transmuting something. It
does. Yeah. So in my Ayurvedic practice, because I saw clients that I work for the California College of Ayurveda, being an intern supervisor, where I'd review like the cases of people training to be practitioners.
Amazing.
So like I feel like I've seen like more clients through my students than sometimes I even saw myself. But one of the things we would do when there was like a massive energetic block, or there, especially with cancer, especially with these unknown diseases that are not healing. Mantra has the ability, which is sound, which is vibration, frequency, and energy, to work on that level. Every like Om, Lam, Hum, Gum, every one of those has and I see you have the chakras here, right? So something that represents, like each one represents one of the chakras and the energetic nerve plexuses that are basically the representation of the nervous system and each one. So you can work on what level that you need to transcend that. So with the chants, the Gayatri mantra, for instance, that's been chanted for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and it's and so you're tapping into that frequency.
That's so beautiful.
Because when you were sharing before about faith and fear, I think when you're humming is also, you can't hold the frequency of anxiety. It disconnects you, because I think it must resonate physically through the vagus nerve as well. So therefore freeing a nervous regulation flow through the body.
Absolutely.
But also through the throat chakra, energetically connecting into the heart perhaps, and changing that vibe.
And I know it sounds like it does, right? And this is the biohacking. This is actually the biohacking, right? So and without having to do or pay anything. It's there for us, and there are some amazing sites that you can access. But even if you Google like a mantra for releasing energy in the throat, it's all there. Ask ChatGPT.
We love ChatGPT. He's our friend, or she, them, or whoever they are. You don't mind.
Consciousness.
This frequency vibration that we've been talking about, energy, is a real thing. This is where I'm getting more and more.
It's so hot.
But it has been forever. It's just that we put it aside as something it's too easy. It has to be harder.
It doesn't have to be hard.
No. And it reminded me of, wasn't there something through the disconnection recent years with the COVID years, where someone was sharing around how they changed the frequency of a lot of
like music and stuff like
that. As to create discord as well, which whether it's true or not, when you think about it, because music, frequency, sound, vibration,
absolutely,
it's
all connected.
It is all connected. It's another topic.
We'll make time for that another day.
That's a vibration.
Yes, exactly.
No, absolutely.
I want to ask, because there's a beautiful overlay of all these experiences that you've been sharing with us today, Jasmine, and I want to ask, along the way, what have you decided to change, if anything?
So I change in myself, or change in the world, or
whatever. You've got that. You have that connection in yourself. Obviously, it's like your own duality where you are yourself, but you feel a very strong purpose in the world.
So I'd actually answer that backwards, and so when I came back here, I experimented a little bit, and I guess I have been for the last year or so, experiencing with the idea of fuck it, none of this none of this fucking matters.
Yeah.
I've done all this spiritual work.
Yeah.
I was a little angry, right? Like I did all this spiritual work. I know all of this information, and I'm still getting anxiety, or I'm still like, this. But then I also, like, I spent years being vegan. I spent years like not drinking, not touching, and so I'm like, I'm just going to go have some fun. And so I did a little bit of a flip where I just like was like, let me try everything. Let me see, let me go into this space where I'm not meditating every day, where I'm eating meat, where I'm doing all of the things that I haven't done for probably my whole life.
Wild.
I got goosies on that.
It's funny when you said about eating meat. The first thing I thought was like, how did it feel for eating meat?
Yeah,
but you flipped it.
I flipped it, and I really went in, and I was like, okay, one of my teachers would say we're the same in all states of consciousness. So if we're drinking a glass of scotch, are we still the same?
Yes.
Or are we, is it true?
Yeah.
Yes, it's so. This is the experiment, and this is what I changed, and I realized that it has a lot to do. I don't know if there's any science or truth behind this, but in myself, it has a lot to do with my pineal gland and what calcifies it and what keeps my awareness open and what closes it. And so in this experiment, I have learned what keeps it open and what keeps it closed.
Wow.
And
okay, tell us. No, go, keep going.
And all the things that we love.
Well, that's the earthly challenge, isn't it? That's why we chose to come here.
So I feel like it's been a little bit of a personal experiment, right? To explore those things, and also feel my inability to, which I've always been a free flow to connect, right, to spirits. So some of these things, and I think alcohol is a big one of them, right, can close off our ability to connect to spirit, right? So a large quantity of alcohol, like once in a while, no worries. But if it's part of your daily routine, like that can close off. What we eat becomes ourselves, right? I've always been a fairly clean eater, and I'll have chocolate cake, and I'll do all of but it's in moderation.
Absolutely,
and so just exploring in the past I've done month-long cleanses where all I've eaten is khichdi, and really had an awakening experience through a mono diet or something like that.
I have to ask what khichdi is.
So khichdi is a Ayurvedic kind of dal that we use in Panchakarma, and the mung bean is almost like the perfect protein / carbohydrate mix, and it's mixed with amazing spices that support and heal the digestive system.
Wow.
I'll make you guys some. It's really great in winter too, or during the Vata season, which is when we're going into winter.
Yes, okay.
Which is right now.
Yeah.
So for us, so that is so I've done that, and so I've done almost done extreme, and it's been a little bit of my life, but some extreme experiments.
Well, it's the biohacking again, isn't it?
Yes. It's okay, this is how you feel here, and this is how you feel here. So you're aware of both. Now, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, I like it.
So to answer your question, I decided I consciously made a choice to say I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yes.
For a while.
Yeah.
And I can say that spirit won't let me. Basically, Jazz, you know better. You've been given this wisdom.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Because I don't. It's just in moderation. And if you're going to do what you came here to do,
don't fuck around.
Don't fuck around.
I kind of love that. It's just I've got your back. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I've given you all these beautiful gifts.
Yeah.
I love that you've tested me, but it's time to come back home. You know, but we all have to do that.
Yeah.
Like we all have to do that.
Yeah. That's the shadow work, right? Yeah. Some
like
of it.
someone will say
The humanness.
and
Yeah.
the humaning, and someone will say, you know, they'll tell you their story and you'll be like, oh, yeah, wow, I don't know whether I agree with that. But until you experience it, you don't know whether that's right for you or not.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we just do have to test the waters.
Yeah. And now too, like it allows me to be a better practitioner or a better healer, like and know what people struggle with and how they struggle with it. And you know, I think in the early days of my teaching, yoga, meditation, it wasn't a struggle for me. Like it was so easy. Like, and you
were in the flow.
I was in the flow, and so experiencing it as difficult is has been a bit of a gift for me to be probably more supportive to.
Yes.
And
even before you, because I'm going
to ask a question.
Yeah, with the experimenting with the food and the you know the alcohol and the things. I mean, and as you say, being younger, it's that lightness of being, isn't it? And then also like relationships, you know, that shifting in the heart space and experiencing. That's also a part of the experiment, isn't it? Where you continue to open your heart to relationship and to people and being in, you know, intimacy with people of whatever kind, you know, and that also is, you know, part of that experiment space, isn't it? You know, it's not just the physical things that we put in our body, it's
the sharing of our space.
Yes, that's so true. So true. I really missed having like my that yoga center, that sangha. And the space is like coming back here, and it's you know, it was a massive move. So
away from
that
community that you'd created. And
which is the perfect segue into the next question. So we have noticed the shift in awareness around self-worth. And we can speak for women, but it's for everyone. On the planet. How do you sit with this energy yourself, and how do you know, work your way through those moments where you actually, you know, we all have it, where we feel a little bit insecure or we don't feel worthy or whatever it is, however it looks. What practices do you use to get yourself through that?
It's actually a really interesting question, because I recently had someone question my worth, right? And it's actually a trigger for me, because I feel like I've done so much work to actually come home to understanding what it is that I do have, and because I am a little bit different and have been my whole entire life, right? People who haven't done the work, who don't understand your vibration, energy, or frequency, or who live a different lifestyle, or who perhaps don't speak your language, right, may not see your worth because they don't understand it.
Fully.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. And it's like, what's the saying, that people can only love you as much as they
meet themselves
or love themselves, right? And so like I witness that. Right now, I'm definitely struggling with my own, in this transition time of where I am and finding my next step. Definitely struggling with my sense of worth, especially as I age, right? So it's like, oh, okay, so there's a different, but then there's also that knowing still. And remembering that I am worthy, you know, and I can trust and do trust and want to trust, and yes, you know, and that those things will manifest and provide opportunities for the platform for what is next. It's the self-doubt that is the I guess the niggle at self-worth.
And that usually comes from outside.
And so so it's like, okay, so you know, and it's like the self-doubt, trusting yourself, connected to self-worth. And then there's also the psychology of your childhood
Yes.
and the messaging that you were given as a child.
Yeah.
So I think they're all interconnected.
Yeah.
So if we can continue to do things that build our ability to trust ourselves, and push our willpower to believe in ourselves, so that the self-doubt can kind of like dissolve.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we just continually have to grow and learn and put ourselves in situations where we can chip away at that, that belief of unworthiness, and then rewire our brain to I am worthy. I am worthy. And sometimes just saying I am worthy. And
absolutely.
And so for me, I believe I am worthy. I think I have that niggle of self-doubt.
No,
Yeah.
it's a powerful one.
Yeah.
It's really powerful.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the biggest lesson on the planet, because I think we're born into it. We're it's part of the systems to keep us somewhere, just to keep us down below. We never to feel how worthy we are, how beautiful we are, how loved we are, how, how much we can create, manifest. And, we've had a lid on us for so long. We keep kind of banging up against that lid, but it feels like, something's about to pop.
It's going to blow up.
Hopefully it's just that 30-year thing, because I have created in the last 5 years, but not for businesses, but not for myself.
Not for yourself.
And so I'm really looking forward to the next stage being something in a realm that is
for you,
for me, and it's for when you're in service for other people, you're in service for yourself.
Absolutely.
And when you're in service for yourself, you're in service for other people. I truly believe that.
That's so true. I do too.
So you've got to love, serve, remember. Those are words from Ram Dass. Love, serve, remember.
That's really lovely.
Because is that when we're in company with people, when you're talking before around our tribe, I think, what was the word? The
Sangha.
That reflection where our gift, our authenticity, our uniqueness, which isn't the same as, the mob often, or these things, how we thrive in those environments is affirmation in itself, isn't it, of why we are a little bit different, and why it serves us to accept our uniqueness and our authenticity and our bigness. And I don't mean bigness in an egoic sense. I mean our energy field of, what we're here to contribute.
No, that's true. And I think when you do it from a place of service, that's when you keep it, just let me be of service. We don't have to cap that, and to see where that goes. And I think the lesson that I've learned over the last couple of years in my experiment of what I decided to change.
Love that experiment.
I've had a lot of fun.
Very. I totally had goosebumps all over my body. I was like, this is good.
Is that, in order to actually hold that space for other people, you have to have that clean container. And you don't have to, right? You can definitely but it's easier to serve on a bigger level with a clean container,
and with longevity as well.
I agree.
I agree.
Things that all the things slide off a lot easier, and you're able to hold the clarity and the focus and
and be a channel.
Yes.
For me it's more it's like that, being a channel. It's like I would always tell the teachers that I would train in yoga teacher training, because it's like really hard to get up and say, inhale, sweep your hands up, exhale, fold forward, and teach people to be safe, and so there'd be a lot of people with a lot of anxiety learning to teach yoga, and I said, look, just show up and say, let me be of service today. And remembering that what you have to say is the perfect thing that somebody in the room, somebody listening needs to hear today.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like
I love
right
that.
now.
Yeah,
Like right now. Like right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're big believers in that. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, that's really beautiful.
Yeah. So with the experiment, what do you do to support yourself for staying in the moment? Has it been distracting being in this experiment of this, recent years here back in Australia?
Yeah, so I've very much been in the workplace and like the leadership role and quite a masculine space. I would say, which is not my preferred place, but I can definitely step into it. And again, that's that duality of needing to the soft and the sweet and the strong and the driven.
Yes.
So for now, supporting myself looks like Pilates. A big step away from the asana practice, spending time in nature, breath work. Although I go in and out and struggle, have a love affair with breath work because but when I'm in it, I'm deeply in it. But I know it's the thing that heals me the most.
Yeah. I was going to say, is that the love affair, the in and out, because sometimes it's confronting when it is a transformative space for you. So, witnessing that and loving myself through that. And spending time with my daughter, so walking, the gym, really love
all of the things.
All of the things, yeah.
So I love all those things too.
Yeah. So just staying grounded with that. And at night, I really love to do visualization and a lot of work with Joe Dispenza and stuff like that. So doing some of that, kind of rewiring. I find that very powerful.
It's so exciting how tangible it is, isn't it? Like the more you repeat it, it's like you can just, the minute you sit down in that space, your body starts to light up and go, okay, we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It knows.
For many years, I used to do every year 10-day silent retreats where complete silence for 10 days. And it's probably the most transformative space, one of the most transformative spaces that I practiced over the years. It's in that space of sitting with yourself that you, and anyone who wants to work in the healing space, I highly recommend it. And in fact, it's something that I'm thinking about reintroducing as one of the offerings that I do is offer the silent retreats. And it's not Vipassana style. It's a little bit different, but it's a space where you can, I think we need it this day and age because there's so much noise everywhere. Internet, social media, inside, outside. If we can learn to sit with ourselves, really sit with ourselves, everything that we are, everything that we're not, everything that we believe, everything that we think, how do we stay with that without distracting ourselves?
No, that's art.
That's a good question.
Yeah. And it's interesting what comes up through the years. I can remember my first silent retreat. I think I ate my way through it. So instead of actually sitting, I ate my way through it. I'm like, okay, so you just did the silent retreat, but you
still filled it with something.
You filled it with something. And so that was a really great observation. So every year it was interesting how as human beings we want to fill space even when we're sitting with ourselves in silence. We find a way. So that journey is constantly, every one of those things is an awakening to knowing ourselves. Know ourselves.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our last question is, how do you see the world now through Jasmine's eyes? What do you see, ahead for us? Or
So I see that we need to individually do our own work. so that we can be a collective whole.
Yeah.
And whatever that work looks like for each individual, because in Ayurveda, like not one practice is good for every person.
Yeah.
So whether it's running, whether it's where do we find that wholeness, and doing more of that, so that we can show up for our families in a conscious way. And also remembering that we are nature. So we are the elements. We're earth, we're water, we're fire, we're air, we're ether, and we're made up of those same elements as the mountains to the littlest molecule in our body.
Yeah.
And realizing that everything that, this is all Ayurveda, I guess, but realizing that everything that we do through our senses affects that aspect and elemental balance.
Yeah.
And so if we can remember that wholeness, remember that we are part of nature, take care of nature, take care of our earth and the usage in it, minimizing our footprint. I feel like we may not be able to save the earth, but we can raise the vibration of the earth. And it's everybody's responsibility to do that if they wish to. Not everybody does, and that's okay. Not everybody's ready. But I feel that we are waking up to, as a collective, many of us, not all of us, are waking up to the idea that we do have to stay in that space to protect ourselves. Otherwise, we will be going down a big drain. Yeah.
So you're kind of saying, the whole intentional footprint is a big key to
intentional footprint, intentional raising of our own vibration, energy, and frequency. Yeah.
It all
So
comes back to that.
it does.
Yeah.
Start chanting. Start doing some of these.
Love that.
Start doing some of these practices. And community too. Right. Remembering we're part of a community and being in service. So.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I would like to say, that where are we going? But but I think we are tapping into, a higher vibration. Many of us are tapping into a higher vibration, understanding. But we'll have to continue to, show up for ourselves, continue to learn who we are individually as ourselves, know ourselves, so that we can be the best version of that.
No, I agree. It all starts with us.
It does.
Within, no, definitely. Thank you, Jasmine.
You're
for
so
joining
welcome.
us on Girl Awakening. It's been our honour to sit with you today and share your awakening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I talk to
Much love.
spirit. She comes in my dreams.
Thank you for listening to our Girl Awakening podcast. We are also on YouTube as Girl Awakening. We'd love to see you there with comments on how our guests resonated with you or your own awakening. Please share the love with a like and subscribe while you're there. A blissful thank you to Ksenia Luki, the amazing artist behind our theme song. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.